Hey everyone, it's Matt, aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be taking a look at M.E.D.S, the Modular Explosive Delivery System for Starfield on the Xbox and PC. It is a paid creation, but it does have a few things going on with it that I think are worth checking out. I'll give an overview of the Modular Explosive Delivery System, what you can do with it, and I'll share my thoughts about what I think about this paid creation at the end. If you have any questions about the mod itself or just in general, leave those in the comments down below, and you can leave a like if you enjoy the video. With that, let's take a look at M.E.D.S and see what it's all about. There's a lot of paid creations right now that are kind of cosmetic, or they're adding new weapons into the game, but M.E.D.S kind of falls into the weapon category, but then also actually adds a new gameplay feature. And that part is what interested me and what kind of drew me to something like Watchtower before, because you had those sky drops. Using something like ships that are already in the game and just coming up with some creative ways to use them. M.E.D.S does some cool stuff like that, just on a smaller scale. So like the explosives that are already in the game, they're actually added into this package that you can buy or craft, and then you can throw these and then remote detonate them. But there's also drones that you can actually use these payloads on. So you can pilot a drone, for example, or even have a hunter drone that'll actually seek out other enemies, kind of like a companion, but just more boom. So the explosives, these battery looking things, those are the payloads. These are what you can remote detonate, and you will need these to actually utilize those drones. More on that later. A requirement for your character is to have your demolition skill to be at least rank 1. Now before you get started, you will need some supplies. There's several locations where you can get this stuff, and you do actually have to buy the detonator, for example, and Mars is where I went. That's one of the locations where this stuff will always spawn, or should always spawn. You can also find a list of locations to check in the mod description. You can find the drones as well as the payloads or the explosives in the throwables category. The detonator is considered a weapon though, so in the weapons category, go ahead and buy yourself this M.E.D.S detonator. In order to use this, you will need some payloads or explosives, so feel free to buy one, but you can also craft these as well. Once you have a payload, you can just select it like you would any grenade. It gets added to your grenade slot, and then that's how the remote detonator can use that explosive. One feature of the detonator is that if you hold the aim button and then actually press the fire button when you're looking at an explosive, you can actually disarm it. This acts like a mine, so it's pretty helpful if you accidentally throw it out. When you do throw it down where you want it though, you might want to back up, otherwise you're probably going to hurt yourself. At a safe distance, hit the fire button and you'll get some visual feedback, but then also a nice little notification on the detonator. You can get creative with these as well, so you have the explosive version, a high yield version with bigger boom. There's another payload that will basically let out some toxic gas, which will actually hurt enemies, and there's an option to stun them as well, or yourself for science. Now you can take those a step further. As mentioned earlier in the video, you do have drones. So you have these hunter drones that will be like autonomous pretty much, just kind of float around you. This can save you in a pickle, but you know, once it's gone, it's gone. The remote drone is probably my favorite because you basically pull out this tablet. You can be pretty far from the thing that you're supposed to attack and just kind of do a quick little airstrike. This also applies to the enemies that you fight, so you might actually see these drones out in the wild and you might have to deal with them. Not necessarily for combat, but another added benefit is that you can use this for some aerial photography. If you use one of these drones for that purpose, it is going to actually use it when you disconnect, so just an FYI. This can also be used as a free cam, so if you're just flying around, you can activate star power here, and what that does is it basically stops the drone so you can get some free cam shots. I'm a little biased on that one because I get a lot of B-roll for these videos. Might not be something that everyone would use, but for me, I might be able to get some cooler B-roll shots for you guys to look at in these Starfield videos. Like with the payloads, you can craft the drones, you just are going to actually have to have the payload in order to craft the drone. So you've seen some gameplay now, and you know what the mod is all about, and now you're probably wondering if it's worth the $5. If you didn't really like the combat in Starfield to begin with, I don't know if this is really going to change your mind, but if you were just looking for a little something to switch it up, it might. I think it's one of those price points where it's low enough to where if you're just curious and want to try it out and see if it really makes a big difference in your game, it's well worth it. For me, I always struggled with stealth in this game, and when you're trying to attack a base, it kind of just devolved into me sniping and then getting found out, and then I just rush in and just obliterate everything. That can be fun for a little bit, but you know, you might have to take a break after a while. I always felt kind of limited in my arsenal, so having a drone or a drone that follows you, or just placing one of these payloads behind an enemy and waiting to see what happens when you're on the other side of the base. You can make your own fun, and I think that's what makes this mod a little bit more valuable than maybe some other ones that maybe just add a new weapon to the game. I always like stuff like that anyway because it just adds some different things to the game, but in this case with meds, it's plussing one of the aspects of the game. So if combat, for example, is a little weak for you, I would say that this one is worth considering if you had some creation credits to spend. And if you just want to get some cool footage or cool photography, the remote drone part of this mod kind of sells it too. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about anything, leave those in the comments down below. I'm sure the mod author or mod team will also be around too to answer any questions. But if you guys have any feedback as well, definitely drop that down below. Or if you end up picking this one up and really like it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.